Hey guys, my name's Jimmy. Haven't posted in a while, well over a year, and well, Kermit is back in my life. Some of you may remember I had a 2017 Civic Si Coupe, and it was in the energy green pearl. And unfortunately, about a year ago, down in Florida, someone rear-ended me, and they hit me so hard that my car was totaled. The car was worth about $22,000, and there was about $22,000 worth of damage. So obviously, insurance company wrote it off. Well, here we are, literally almost a year to the day from the accident, and I finally found another one. It's not energy green, it's actually tonic yellow. For 2019, they changed the color. But I'm glad to have my baby back, and let's do a little tour. So what changed from 2017 to 2019? The answer is not a whole lot, which honestly is okay, because I loved my 2017 just the way it was. There are a few changes on the interior, which I'll highlight, and honestly make the car that much better. So I loved my 2017 and didn't have a single problem with it until I got rear-ended. But one of my biggest gripes with it was the lack of a volume and tuning knob. Now, for 2019, Honda has not given us a tuning knob. You still have to use the interface, but we do have 4 hard buttons for like the home screen, audio, phone, whatever. And now we have a tactile power button and volume knob, which it's one of those things, I don't know why Honda ever thought to get rid of it. And as soon as they did it, I think everyone agreed it was dumb. Now, like before, you still have the volume controls here. So it's not like the new Civic Tourings and the CR-Vs where you can change the volume by swiping up or down on the volume thing. It's just a hard button. I do want to try, so I'm getting a Buddy Club steering wheel, and I want to try swapping the piece here from a Touring and seeing if that will work, if it's just plug and play. If not, we'll just retain this original piece. Other than that, not a whole lot's changed in here. We do have a USB extender that runs down here through the back of the console. So that's really nice to have. There are 2 USB ports standard. Let's get on in. As with most Honda's new products, there is smart access. You just put your hand behind the door handle to unlock it and hit the button to lock. It's a sea of black, but I love it. It's lower than the regular Civic. It's lower than a lot of sedans on the market, or coupes even. But it's still a very reasonable step in height, in my opinion. And it's not super tight like you might think. I might just be used to it, but I think it's really easy to get in and out of. So inside, you do have your LCD display. So there's no more traditional speedometer. You just have a digital readout, and you have a analog but digital tachometer at the top. To the left, you have your temperature gauge. To the right, you have your gas gauge. On the steering wheel, you have your audio controls, hands-free link, more volume. Here's your cruise control, no adaptive cruise. Like I said, the SI does not have any of Honda's sensing. Over here's your headlight controls. So you've got your lane watch button, automatic headlights and fog lights and turn signals, traction control, hood release, and trunk release. Just a tip, you have to hold this button. It doesn't just pop right away. You have to hold it for like 5 seconds. Over here, nothing crazy. 2 one-touch windows, up and down. Power automatic locks, power mirrors. That's about it. Up here, my favorite part that I missed on my Subaru is my sunroof. I finally have a sunroof again. You do have automatic interior lights, manually dimming rearview mirror. Here you have your hazard lights, and as mentioned earlier, you have a volume knob now. And this car actually has a pretty good sound system from the factory. I do have some upgrades. I have 2 Infinity Primus speakers up front, and I have some JBL speakers with tweeters in the rear deck. So I'm just gonna give you a quick bite of sound so you can hear what the sound system sounds like. And when I look back on those days, there's not a thing that I would change. So when the years through, I'll be right here to spend the summer on you. You can believe it or not, the 2019 SI actually comes standard with 10 speakers total, which is a crazy amount of speakers for a car of this price and this size. You've got 2 in the front door, 2 tweeters in the front door, 2 speakers in the rear deck, 2 tweeters in the rear deck, a center mounted front speaker, and a subwoofer on the deck. And my only gripe with the sound system is the vibration from the subwoofer, but that's something that you can easily remedy with some Dynamat. And at some point I'm planning on putting in some Rockford punches in the trunk, so it's gonna eliminate the need for that subwoofer anyways. Thankfully, the SI is only offered with a 6-speed manual, just like every other Honda shifter, well, most every other Honda shifter. It's very notchy. I think this is one of the best shifting transmissions I've ever owned, and I've owned a lot. It's very easy to drive for a beginner. It's got a very light clutch, but it's still very intuitive. You feel connected with this transmission. It doesn't feel like slop. It's easy, but it's rewarding. You have your electronic parking brake hold, so if you're sitting at a red light and you hit that, you can take your foot off the brake pedal. It'll keep the brakes on and your lights illuminated. And sport mode, which is the most used button in this car in my opinion. You do have driver and passengers 3-zone heated seats, dual zone climate control, and push button ignition. One of the best things about this car, and Consumer Reports kind of said the same thing, for about the starting MSRP is about $25,000. So for $25,000, the Honda Civic Si is really a performance bargain sports car, and you get a lot of standard features, a lot of standard tech, and great safety for that price. You get 205 horsepower, damn near 200 pound-feet of torque, a 5-star safety rating, which I have put to the test. I got rear-ended by a lady going 60. My car was demolished, not a scratch on me. This is one of the best cars you can buy for the money. I wouldn't recommend any other car for someone looking for a performance car on a budget. This is not going to keep up with Challengers, Hellcats, obviously. It's a totally different class. But if you're looking for something that is safe, reliable, comfortable, peppy, and gets 40 miles to the gallon when you're not driving like an asshole, this is the car for you. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I want to make a point that this car means a lot to me. This car, I don't know, I feel like it's an extension of my personality, and that started back with my 2017, and that was the most heartbreaking day when I got rear-ended in that car. I knew when I looked up in my rearview mirror and I saw that Ford coming at me, I knew this is not going to be good, and sure enough, my car was totaled, and I could tell that as soon as I got out, all of her airbags went off, my trunk was in my back seat, but everyone walked away safe, and that's something I give a lot of credit to this car for. It called 911 for me because I was kind of out of it when I got hit. I was just in shock, and the car called 911 for me, kept me safe, and that's a feeling you can't replace. And I know that this car kept me safe, and I have bad luck when it comes to driving. I've never been at fault for an accident, but a lot of people will tell you I get hit a lot. So to be safe is important to me, and you might as well have fun and get good gas mileage at the same time. So I am going to say now, this is not the best video in the world. I do need to get a real camera and not record with my iPhone. But some plans I have for this channel and for this build, I want to see where this can take me. I love this car. Cars have been my passion since I was a kid. This car particularly is my passion. And anything I can do to, I don't know, to play off that and have a good time with it and do something I love, that's what I want to do. So with this build, I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm not looking for a 400 horsepower build. I would have bought a Type R. But I want to make this car as fun as I can while it still is reliable. So things that I'm looking at doing down the road in the near future, intercooler, charge piping, intake. I'm torn if I'm going to do a lowering system, some sort of coilover setup. I really like the way that this car looks and drives as is. I do think it could be a little bit lower, but it's kind of hard for this car because it's got active dampers. When you replace those components, it kind of sets the whole sport mode into tizzy. So I got to do some research to see what works and what doesn't work because I don't want to lose my sport mode. Exhaust is going to happen, as I mentioned earlier. And then just a couple cosmetic things. I kind of want to put a Type R front bumper on this. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I'm testing the water, seeing if I can get a good deal on the part and getting it painted. And I want it to look right. I don't want mismatched paint. It's got to be done professionally. And other than that, I just think, oh, and I'm ordering a green and black leather interior for this car, which I'll post a picture. I think it looks dope. I saw it just in passing. I'm also considering just a black or a black and red leather, but I